Hello everyone, this is Ketish here. In this video, I'm going to go through the AQA Combined Science Biology Paper 1 Higher Tier from 2025. This question is on the topic of cell biology. This question is about plants. Some plants can respire anaerobically. Which are the two products of anaerobic respiration in plants? Now, anaerobic respiration produces carbon dioxide instead of water, as in respiration. Aerobic respiration will produce ethanol. Figure 6 shows the structure of part of a leaf. So the top layer that you see here is the upper epidermis. Which means these individual cells that you see here are the palisade layer. And this bit is the spongy mesophyll layer. And this bottom bit that you would see here is the lower epidermis. And you can't see the stomata. There should be gaps somewhere here, right there or there. That would be the stomata. On both sides, it will be the guard cells. So, what is the name of tissue A? That will be the palisade. Layer. Sometimes it's also called the palisade mesophyll layer as well, but we'll just simply call it palisade layer. Explain how tissue A is adapted to its function. Now, tissue A is in the top part of the leaf, which means that's when light actually hits first. So it should be carrying out photosynthesis. So it should have a lot of chloroplasts. So tissue A has a lot of chloroplasts. The reason for this, to absorb light for photosynthesis as much as possible. You could also say that the cells are all closely packed together as well, so that there's more cells, so they're all vertical. So the cells are all basically like this instead of being flat. If it was flat like that, then you can't fit in a whole lot of cells. Plants absorb water from the soil. Describe how water is transported from the soil through the plant tissues to the atmosphere. So how does plant actually absorb water? So let me use this space at the bottom here. So let's say that's my soil layer, and this is my plant. I've got the stem, the roots, the branches, and the leaf. So how does water actually enter from the soil? So water enters through the root mainly by osmosis and by diffusion as well. Once it enters through the root hair cells, it is actually moving up through the plant. Now, in the stem, the main vessel that carries water is the xylem vessel that carries water through. Once it goes into the leaf, it is still moving by osmosis and by diffusion. It enters the spongy mesophyll layer. From there, it moves into the air spaces and then out of the plant through the stomata, and that's mainly by evaporation and by simple diffusion. And this process is known as transpiration. It's not translocation, it's transpiration. So how many marks is this? 5 marks. Okay. So describe how water is transported from the soil through plant tissues to the atmosphere. Here's the answer for this. Water is absorbed from the soil by osmosis, the first point, by osmosis, and by diffusion through root hair cells. This point will give you 2 marks. Water travels up through the xylem vessel to the leaf. That gives you another mark. The water then moves into the spongy mesophyll layer by diffusion and osmosis. So mentioning the spongy mesophyll is the actually you won't get 2 marks. This is just 1 mark. 3 marks. And water is lost through the stomata. This is where you get the 4th mark. And it's lost by evaporation. That's your 5th mark. And that evaporation you can describe it as transpiration to the atmosphere. That brings us to the end of question number 5, and I will see you in the last question, number 6, in the next video.